For a long time, I thought my body was the problem. I thought acne was something I needed to fight. I thought symptoms were simply problems I needed someone else to fix. Whenever something was wrong, my first thought was I need to find the right doctor. Looking back, I think one of the biggest mistakes was believing my health depended entirely on finding someone else who had the answers. Not because doctors are not important. They absolutely are. I'm grateful for the doctors who helped me, including the doctors who diagnosed my endometriosis. But I believed my health was completely in someone else's hands. I wasn't trying to understand my own body. I simply thought symptoms are something doctors fix. I remember one experience very clearly. My acne had become severe. I went to see a dermatologist. The dermatologist looked at my skin and prescribed antibiotics. At the time, I trusted the treatment. I thought, finally, maybe this will be the thing that fixes my acne. So I followed the instructions exactly. But 2 weeks later, my acne got even worse. I went back to the clinic feeling so disappointed, so miserable. The doctor looked at my skin and said they were not sure why it wasn't improving. They referred me to another doctor. Looking back now, I don't blame the dermatologist. They were doing their job with the information they had. They saw my acne, they treated my acne, but they couldn't see everything else happening in my life. They didn't know how much stress I was carrying, how little I was sleeping, what I was eating, how exhausted I felt every day, what my environment was like. They could only treat what they saw during that 5-minute appointment. That experience taught me something important. Healing wasn't just find the right treatment. I also needed to understand my own body. My body had been trying to get my attention for years. I was constantly stressed. I was always tired. I struggled to wake up in the morning. I lost weight easily. I had hormonal acne. My periods were irregular, and my periods were also so painful. But I kept telling myself, this is just who I am. This is normal for me. I didn't connect any of those things together. I saw them as completely separate problems. Then I was diagnosed with endometriosis. At the time, I remember thinking, why me? But looking back now, I don't ask that question anymore. My body had been giving me little signals, little signs for years. And I kept ignoring those signs. One example that really changed how I think my body is my menstrual cycle. For years, I had irregular periods. They were also so painful that I even take Advil before my period came so that I thought I never has to deal with the pain. Because that has always been my experience, I assumed that was simply normal. That was my normal. Looking back, I wish I had been more curious instead of accepting it as my normal. I wish I had asked, is there something my body is trying to tell me? Is there something that I can do to support my body? Over the years, as I started paying much closer attention to my health, my stress, my nutrition, my sleep, and the way I cared myself, I noticed something. My periods gradually became much more regular. Most months, they arrive around the same time, and most months, I no longer experience the level of pain I used to. I'm only sharing my experience. Painful or irregular periods can have many different causes, and it's important to speak with a healthcare professional if you are concerned. But for me, it became one of the clearest signs that my body was changing. Just for the ladies, one thing I personally started paying attention is to my menstrual cycle. I now see it as one of the ways my body gives me feedback. If something changes, I become curious. I pay attention, not fearful, curious. Today, I don't assume every symptom has an easy answer. I also don't automatically accept every symptom as this is just who I am. Instead, I ask, what is my body trying to tell me? Maybe it's stress, maybe it's lack of sleep, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's environment, maybe it's something that truly needs medical attention. The answer is different for everyone. One thing I've learned is that healing isn't about finding one magic solution, not one doctor, not one medication, not one product, not one treatment, not one hood. Healing is about understanding the whole picture. It's about putting many small pieces together. Today, I still listen to doctors. I still learn from experts, but also listen to my own body, because no one spends more time with it than I do. I spent years trying to fix my body. Now I spend my time trying to understand it. And if there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's this. Don't wait until your body is screaming before you start listening. Stay curious. Your body is communicating with you every single day. Listen to your body, stay curious, and stay open to learning.